Alright, so this is the supercharger that I am planning on installing on my 98 Plymouth Neon. it it was off of eBay. It was like $150 or something like that. It's an ASIN, I think is how it's pronounced. AMR 500. Universal root style supercharger. There's a couple other guys on YouTube that have put this on other vehicles, but never really seen anybody do it to a Neon. Mine's a little different, obviously, as you can see if you were to go and Google that. I went ahead and powder coated mine bright neon green to match some of the accents of of my car. Mainly because it would be funny as shit to me, anyways. Anyways. So I'm going to be starting to build a mount for it to hold it onto the car and start hooking it up into the plumbing it all up into the intake. So stay tuned. First attempt at aluminum welding, quote unquote. It's actually more like brazing, but I figure I'll give it a shot. Why not? It's a lemon car, anyways. Who cares? But we're gonna see if it's drop test approved. Held up. So yep, drop test approved. Back to the supercharger. Doing the inlet outlets of it, converting them to an aluminum since this is just too small. So hang tight. We'll get this all cut out. So I may have to modify the plate from the original design, being that it has those little indents here on the sides. So I might have to just go straight across instead, because this is a 2.5 inch hole saw bit that I'd be using to cut the hole for the my 90 or whatever the hell I decide to use. So you'll find out here soon. Anyways, I need this outlet piece to fit fairly well, because otherwise it interferes with the outlet and I can't get my nice little coupler here on. It interferes with the motor mount. So yeah, well, we'll fast forward through all this so you guys don't have to be bored and watch all this. But anyways, now some of you may also be wondering why mine, if you've already seen this before, or seen this little supercharger anyways before elsewhere, why mine is green. Well, just so happens I do powder coating on the side, and I have my own little setup, and yes, I powder coated it bright neon green to go with the color scheme I'm going with my particular Neon. If you guys are interested in seeing some of those videos of how I do stuff for powder coating, please let me know. Obviously, as you guys can tell, these plates are very crude. I went and bought 1/4 inch thick aluminum plate off of Amazon, and well, just kind of hacked away at it. Welcome to Lemon's Racing Garage. We don't really do everything perfectly, just as long as it works. And in this case, it's going to work a hell of a lot better than that. I mean, look at that. Just look at the difference there. I mean, 2.5, 1 inch-ish. I don't actually know what size it is. Never measured it. Don't care. We're going to throw this away anyways. So, stay tuned. Now, I did say earlier that I did powder coat this. Well, unfortunately, I was really lazy, and I'm kind of in a rush to get all this done before the Rambler, because my car would be completely nuts, and it would be really funny to have this on here anyways. So I decided to just go ahead and shoot some bright neon green powder coat over it, and I didn't really do the greatest job of cleaning it, obviously, as you guys can tell. This is not actually a reflection of my work, to be honest with you. I have done many other projects and many other things with powder coat, and they've turned out fantastic. Really tough stuff, really easy to work with as long as you clean it. So bear with me, pardon me with all the scuffs and shit, but we don't really care. It's a lemon car anyways that we're working with, so whatever. So this is my little setup here for brazing. Now keep in mind, everybody, I am not a professional when it comes to this. I just started doing this a little while ago for one of the first attempts for the supercharger bracket there, um, and it worked. It just doesn't look pretty, so keep the criticism to a minimum. But anyways, for any of you that might be wondering how you do this, pretty simple. Get yourself some aluminum or whatever that you can braze. I bought this little torch thing here, this little guy, from Harbor Freight for, I think it was like 20 bucks a few years back. Anyways, this little guy threads onto either one of these little bottles of MAP or propane. I ran out of propane, and I had a couple extra things of MAP laying around, so I'll be using MAP. Get yourself some brake parts cleaner, acetone, whatever. Doesn't matter, as long as it's a solvent, a cleaner of some sort, because you do want this, and wherever you're going to make a joint, like in my case, going to be all the way around here, and all the way around 360, needs to be clean, just like with welding, anything like that. Of course, safety glasses, can't stress that enough, and a brush, because this actually helps get the joints clean. Then you've got your igniter, obviously, and they call them low temperature aluminum welding rods. It's really brazing. I've never used this particular type before, from Harbor Freight. There's another one that I've been using from Burns-O-Matic, I think it was, the same company as the MAP or propane canisters there. But these ones, it's a little bit more bang for your buck, I think, so far anyways, just because they're significantly longer than the ones that you get from them. So hopefully it will last a lot longer, and also you get a few more of them in this little canister. Anyways, I will set all this up, and I will have you guys watch. Oh yeah, that's another thing I totally forgot. Get yourself some gloves. Some real nice, like welding gloves. You can pick them up from Harbor Freight for fairly inexpensive, or you can buy some better, more heavy-duty ones from like Home Depot, Lowe's, whatever. Anyways, keep your hands from getting burned up. I learned that one the hard way, even though I have a welder right there. Anyways, the other thing too, you might notice that I have it set up on like a little piece of steel here, and like a little fire blanket underneath it. That's just to make sure that I don't burn up my nice, very redneckified workbench here, because it's all wood. I really don't want to light that on fire and burn my garage down, or Lemons Racing HQ rather. So keep watching. Well, you know how I kind of warned you guys that I wasn't really a professional at doing any of this. Well, they're not kidding when they say a lower temperature. I definitely had it a little too hot, and definitely kind of warped the plate a little bit and kind of melted it away. So this is supposed to be 1/4 inch thick, as you can see roughly by right about there. It's now really no longer. That's okay. I'm still going to use this anyways. I'll figure out something in another video that I'll show you guys as to how I miraculously solved this. But yeah, so just to kind of show you guys, definitely a little too hot. That's the plate slash the extra welding or brazing rods rather that I had. It did also start to get a little too hot, obviously, as you can see there, but definitely a good thing I put that down because, yeah, definitely kept from catching my workbench on fire. That's okay. Safety first, right? That's what we always got to think. Anyways, in another video, I will show you guys putting this on and hopefully building some new mounts for my supercharger. Just finished it up, and as is customary here at Lemon's Racing Garage, we do a drop test to make sure that it doesn't fall apart when you drop it. Approved! Much better. This time turned out hell of a lot better. I did not run into any issues this time with getting it too hot. I learned from the outlet side, this is the inlet side, and it came out much better, especially that little section right there. I don't know if you guys can quite see that too well. Refocus or something, but this little section right in here was definitely very good, at least from my experience anyways. I don't know if that's good or not, but it looks a hell of a lot better than my previous attempt. So in just a little while here, once this cools, I'll have it on the inlet of the supercharger. Yeah, obviously, as you can see, this is my first attempt. Obviously way too hot. Normally I use propane. In this case I was using MAP because it's what I had, and well, MAP burns a lot hotter, at least from my understanding, than propane does. So note to self, if you're gonna do this, be cautious, use very little heat, take your time, don't go too fast like I was trying on that. Obviously, as you can see here, I took my time. That is still very hot, but took my time, gradually went around, no problem. I think it sealed up just fine. I mean, this one sealed up fairly well too. Not the greatest, obviously, as you can see, I burned a little hole right there, but that's okay. I'm gonna redo this piece after the Rambler anyways. This is just to get it on there, basically, at this point. Yeah, I have a few boost leaks, but it'll all be fixed in time. So in an attempt to try and fill this up, or fill all these gaps on this thing anyways, we are going to try to use this right here. Supposedly works really well, very quick setup time, exactly what I'm looking for basically. So I'm going to try it, see if it seals up all my gaps and everything, considering I don't actually have any paper gaskets and I warped the hell out of the base there. So we're just trying to fill up gaps for now, like I said, just trying to get her to the Rambler.